Well, hey there, good morning. Hey, today's right before Christmas. I just filmed a quick shorty, a little short Merry Christmas, thank you for watching, to post up on tomorrow, Christmas Eve. So this now is starting back into the regular cycle, so what you're seeing now, you should be seeing it on January 9th, I think. And this is very confusing for somebody like me. But I'll give you a quick rundown. I just pulled the 2x4 out. You probably won't see up here that used to hold all my rakes and shovels and hoes, and I'm going to reuse some of that to build the beginning of my fold down workbench. So anyway, to get it right where I want it, we're going to go up 34 1/4. And I think what that'll do is put my finished top at 35-ish. And then I'm going to grab my level. I want to make it 3 wide. Now these are not all equally spaced at all. So I'm marking it via level instead of just measuring. And then I can get her cut and hung up. And then I can go buy some stuff to build the table out of. I don't have enough scraps. I've looked everywhere, tried to figure out what I could use. But, because I
wish you a safe journey.
Again? We gotta stop eating like this. So far, I'm into this garage for this project. Well, $13, $26, $46 and some change. For the cleats, the wood for the cleats, the backboard, and the 2 shelves I built. And I could have built those with wood I had. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so this is a really, really budget project. I don't want to keep it that way, but I am going to have to go buy some actual plywood to make the bench, the fold down. So we'll go from there. But I'm catching you up. Whoa. Oh. I figured something out. Won't be able to hang my tools on the French cleats. With good reason though. Cords, they'll just hang all over the place. They'll come undone. I'll Velcro them up. I'll lose the Velcro. So I decided that's not a good way to go. Second question I get, well, why don't you use battery powered tools? Well, they're more expensive. At this point in life, I'm not going to restock my tool chest. I do have a couple of cordless drills. I keep those in the house because this garage gets outside cold and it's not really good for the batteries. So, and I don't mind corded. They work. I'm hanging this thing up. Oh, here's another question I always get. Why are you using screws? That's a good one. So, I'm screwing this to the studs because 2 things. These studs are 85 years old. Putting a nail into them is just a pain in the butt. But it does bring up a good point. If you're using screws, I'm using some general purpose, not drywall screws, but they're not construction screws. So what that means, they don't have shear strength side to side. That's why when you build a fence, you nail the 2x4s to the 4x4s, and then you just screw the fence boards on. These are great, good and strong holding in, like a fence board. Not so great with side force. They do make nowadays the construction grade screws you can use, but I'm also using what I have. So on that note, let me get busy. Stop talking. Probably shouldn't even be filming this because I don't even know if you can see me in the camera. I'm just doing what I do. And I don't have the camera turned around. So I'm basically, you're seeing more than I am right now. I was smart. But at least I caught it. I went the wrong way with my measurements. There we go. I only have 2 hands here, people. Stop being mean. Let's get a screw right in. I see why people heavily edit their videos so you don't see all the, like I could just film right this, putting in the screws. That looks great. Although my historically perfect cord hanging, but I don't want to do that. I ain't got time for that. Okay. I just film what I'm doing, so you can be thoroughly entertained by it. Yeah. This is as far as I can get with this. I did look. Usually, here's what I do. I must have a ton of hinges. I don't need hinges. Then I go to the store to get the other things, and I doubt myself. Well, maybe I don't have hinges that'll work for this at home. So I'll buy hinges, bring them home and use them, only to find out later that I did have hinges, or whatever it is I needed. But this time, now that I'm getting organized, I looked in the box. I have some hinges, but they're not what I want for this. So I'm gonna get some heavier duty hinges to put this on and move on to the next step. So I'm not gonna take you shopping with me. Instead, we'll do a few more things here till my wife gets home, and then I'll help her take in the groceries because she's off holiday grocery shopping, and then I'll go. But I'm still not taking you there. That's embarrassing. All right, it's only a few hours later, but I thought I'd give you a quick update and let you in on a little secret. So I came out, and remember I said I was gonna mount the garage door opener and mount the light switch. That's done. Then I went ahead and hung my flashlight by the door. I always like to have one by exit doors. It's my paranoia. I don't know. I went ahead and hung a couple of hoses. Since my compressor seems to be happy here, we put the hoses right above the compressor. Over here, I took a piece of wood, drilled some holes, and all of my lathe tools that aren't in boxes now have a home within easy reach. Kind of proud of that one. And everything on there is an accessory therefore. As I said, those on my French cleat won't work because they're just cords hanging in the way. Now I might change that, but for right now I'm happy where my tools are winding up. They're finding their own homes, and it seems to be working for me. So then on to the wall. So when we first started, I was hanging that piece of 2x. I got that up and I cleaned up all the extra nails and screws that were in there. Let me zoom out here. Sorry about that. I went ahead and moved that drywall square. My wife's already claiming it that she could use it for fabric, I guess, which is fine. I don't use it very often. But it was in the way of my hoses. So things change. That's okay. We have this permanent old step ladder we use all the time, and it's always on a bungee and always falling down. And then we call this our old people basket. People basket is for groceries and stuff. Sometimes I use it, very rarely though, but who knows, we're getting older. These are there temporarily because I don't know what I'm going to do with those once I finish the bench. I went ahead and hung all my electrical, all my cables. I left my leaf blower out here because it seems to do more work in the garage than it does on the yard. And in this section is remember I said vehicle stuff. So that's my go bag when somebody says, hey, can you come give me a hand? Which doesn't happen as often as it used to, but I have a bag I can throw my tools and hardware in and head out to give a hand sometimes. Coming over here, the bucket. I have 2 Harbor Freight buckets now because when I went yesterday to get a tarp, it was free bucket day. So I've got 2. My wife makes fun of me about those, but they sure come in handy when you need them. I haven't figured out what to do with this piece of plywood yet. I've used it for so long. It's been in this garage for so many years, but I'll find a place for it or I'll use up the last of it on something. I haven't finished cleaning up yet for the end of the shift here. So I think tomorrow it's back to this, and then sorting through all of this stuff up here. And this bucket, and that bucket down there has become an official trash bucket. I never had a trash bucket out here, so consequently I would throw things on the bench until I would get sick of it, gather it all up, and take it over to the trash bin. Well, now I got a place to do that. When it gets full, I take it out and empty it. Genius. So this is the last bucket of where do I put it for now stuff I got to go through. And then the sorting process of the ceiling so there's more to do, but the huge chunk is done. And of course, utilizing all this space and all this new hanging system, that'll come up. But we're getting towards the end here. I'm not going to drag it out any more than I have to, but we're going to finish up. And now I'm going to fill you in on a little secret. Hang on. All right. I alluded to something the other day when I was showing my hammers. I said, I got a story about this sledgehammer. She's a big one. I don't know how many pounds. Doesn't matter. I've used it for years. I don't remember where I got it, but I love it. It's part, great hammer. Last summer, I was replacing a fence post and I had to drive it in. So, of course, I got my trusty sledgehammer. I got up on my ladder and I was hammering it down in to get it to final seat. And it occurred to me that, man, I was getting tired. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". Right now, I'm 272 pounds. Not bragging about that. I've been bigger. I've been less. But I can swing hammers and axes with the best of them. And all of a sudden, it was kicking my butt. And the next day I had an appointment with the doctor, just a general checkup. And when I got there, I knew something was off because it happens all the time. But I get these pains. Anyway, they found out I was in full AFib. My heart rate was like 180 something. I mean, it was up there. I don't know what it was. It was high. A lot higher than it should have been. And they wanted to send me right to an emergency room and get it shocked to put it back into rhythm. And by the time they figured out where they could send me, it thankfully went back into a rhythm on its own. And I've been on medication for it ever since. Woe is me. We're all getting older. But I wanted to tell you that sometimes when I come out here, especially when I first started, I sit down or I stand there and I look at it and it overwhelms me. Sometimes, like today, I come out and there's not that much to do today, and it still overwhelms me. I don't have the motivation, and I don't know if it's because of the ticker. I don't know if it's because I'm just old or lazy, or if it's just the way the world is going. It does seem to be a trend that people aren't as having as much fun as we used to, but it's okay. My only suggestion is don't let it get you down. If you go out to do your thing and you don't feel like it, don't. It's okay. It's going to be there tomorrow. I had a contractor told me once when a general contractor was screaming at us, he was just pissed and we'd had a problem and he just lost his mind and it red things and this electrician leans over and he says, you know what? No matter what he tells you, the sun's going to rise tomorrow. And I laughed so hard at that, and it's true. I try to keep it, in perspective as much as I can. Other days, you don't feel like it. Like today, I said, well, gosh, it's cold and wet. I don't feel like it. But I went ahead and said, I'm just going to put a piece of 2x4 behind that light switch because I don't like it flopping around. It's not safe. And got my saw horses set up and got the saw out, cut the wood. And by the time I got that done, I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well put the garage door opener up and be done with that. And while I'm doing it, the right down below it is stuffed the hose for the air compressor. I'm like, well, I should get that off the floor. That's one of my goals. And I turn around and, okay, well, let me hang this. Yeah, I got this 2x4 and it ain't gonna hang itself. Let me get that up, and that way it's out of the way, etc. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes once you get going, one good thing leads to another. I had a great day today. It's noon. I mean, I'm tired. I'm done. I might poke through this a little. I turned this bowl. If my brother's watching, don't look too close. It went all cockeyed, but it sits on my bench as a reminder that not everything you do has to be perfect, and that's okay. So it's going to go back on my bench. But anyway, so if your sledgehammer is feeling heavy and burdensome, put it down and take a break and enjoy, because they only get one life that I know of. and yeah, so don't sweat the small stuff. And well, it's past, but in 2 days is Christmas on my angle. Boy, these making videos get you all confused. I hope you're having a great holiday season. And if you're not, reach out. I'm always here, and I'm bored and old, and I have a lot of advice. None of it's good, but I got a lot of it. So say hi. Talk to you soon. Well, good morning. Hanging out in the garage. I just get the damn thing on.